Hey everybody, I'm Rick Sanchez. The world wants to know who's telling the truth and who is fibbing when it comes to the Prime Minister of India and the President of the United States. So you've probably heard that there was a call between Mr. Trump and Mr. Modi. And you may have heard that there were two different interpretations of what happened during that call. As it turns out, as soon as the call was over, Mr. Trump was eager and willing to go to the media and put out a message essentially saying the following, that the Modi and the Indian government had decided to accept continual tariffs, but that they would, instead of paying 25%, they would only pay 18%, but they're still going to pay tariffs. Mr. Trump also said that India would no longer buy even a drop of oil from the Russians. Henceforth, they would buy their oil instead from the Americans vis-a-vis Venezuela. In other words, the United States is going to get the oil, take the oil from Venezuela, and then sell it to the Indians, and the Indians government would pay a higher price for it than they're paying right now to the Russians. So that's the story that Mr. Trump put out, right? That essentially win, 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 win for America. Not exactly a win for Mr. Modi. So, of course, when this story got out, the U.S. media reported it, as Mr. Trump reported it, and then it got into the hands of the media in India, and many of my colleagues in India started going, what in the hell? Was Modi drunk? He agreed to all of this? Essentially, he did a deal with the United States where the United States gets everything and India gets almost nothing? Think about it. I mean, the way Mr. Trump reported it, you're no longer allowed to buy efficient or inexpensive gas for your 1.5 billion people who need it. You're going to continue paying tariffs, by the way. And from now on, all the gas you do get and all the oil you do get is going to come from us vis-a-vis Venezuela. And yes, you're going to pay more for it. Why in the hell would Modi agree to such a thing? So that's the question that was being asked all of India. And we don't know still if he did or didn't, right? So immediately, Mr. Modi, or I'm sure Mr. Modi's handler, said, hey, you better put something out because the president said that you got taken for a ride by this phone call that you had with the president of the United States. So that Mr. Modi put out essentially the message that I'm sure you've seen by now, essentially saying he had a meeting with Mr. Trump. It was very good. Everything went wonderful. And he praised Mr. Trump for the meeting and then said that essentially what the Indians have received is that they've lowered the tariff from 25% to 18%. So as far as Mr. Modi's concerned, he had a meeting with Trump. He was trying to talk Trump into lowering the tariff, and he got him to lower the tariff. So it's a win for India. So in other words, it was only good news for India, no bad news for India, nothing bad for India here. So what we have are two different officials telling two completely different stories. So who's telling the truth? Well, we know that in the past, when Mr. Trump did this just recently with Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. Carney came out the same day and said, no, I didn't agree to that and I didn't say that, right? That was a story about Carney and his comments about the New World Order and how it doesn't work. And now countries like the United States have taken advantage of other countries in the past, and that from now on, the Canadians are going to be focusing their efforts more on China, for example, and other countries that belong to BRICS, for example, like India, which is interesting that India being one of those countries. Think about this for a minute. India is empowered by its relationship with China and Russia, militarily, economically, trade-wise, etc. With Russia, obviously. I mean, think about this. India has to import 85% of its oil, 85% of the oil that's imported to be used by 1.5 billion people. That's a lot of oil. So that means they're paying a hefty price. That means they have to go and shop it and get the best deal they can get on that oil. Why in the hell would Modi agree to oil that is shipped from halfway around the world, taken from by a middleman who's taking it from one country and then essentially shipping it to another country? Obviously, it's going to be more expensive. So why would Modi agree to that? The numbers simply don't add up. Up to now, we don't know. You know, if Mr. Modi has decided for the sake of whatever, peace with the United States or better relations with Mr. Trump, he's willing to pay more of his own people's taxes on a trade deal that makes it look like India's kind of getting a raw deal. Then God bless him. Just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? At this point, the deal does not look like it adds up. And until we hear specifically from Mr. Modi on what he agreed to or didn't agree to, it's kind of hard to reconcile this deal. And that's where we are. That's where we are right